Today was one of those days where this should have been like a part of a video, but it is a full video. So I got the transmission mount. I wanted to at least hit the goal of getting the rear brakes ran, getting the Perches welded, and getting the pinion angle set, and getting the transmission mounted. That was my main goal of the day, and that's what this video is about. I ran into a lot of problems. Like, as you can see, that tight fit there, I had to like use a pry bar and push the motor like forward the slightest bit just to get this in there, and then the holes didn't line up for the bolts to go into the transmission, of course, and it was a big pain, and it took about an hour and a half just to get that mount in there. I'll show you about 10 seconds of it, but you know, and then I can kind of work off this pinion angle. Now this is my first time doing this as well, but it's at about 7 degrees downward, and obviously that means that the rear end has to be the same. I hope I did it right, but you'll see. And it's too late now unless I want to add shims or something, but they're both set at about 7 degrees, but I had to go through. I didn't film all this because there was a lot of stuff not filmed, because I figured you guys have seen me tear this rear end apart like 5 times now on this series, so I didn't show the entire thing. But I tried to do it smarter this time. I put the old wheels back on. The other old wheel is already on the other side, and I take the wheel off the other side, and that way I can just slide them right out on the cart, which you'll see. Or on the wheel dollies, which it worked out fantastic. If I ever take this rear end out again, which I hope to God I never have to, this is the way I'm going to do it, because it's hard to do this with one person. It's not as bad now because the axle's flipped and it's underneath the leaf springs. When it's up inside, it's even harder to do, but it really wasn't that bad. I mean, all in all, everything went pretty well on this day. It was just, really time consuming. Like, everything, it seems like I didn't really get much done, but it was all everything's a process. I really wish like I could use these wheels on something. I love these Kragers and these tires, these old Bonneville super fat tires. I mean, they're not really they're not really that fat, but they're pretty awesome. They're vintage, but I'm sure I'll find something to throw them on. I almost thought about throwing them on the Model A, but I'm not going to. So this was my sketchy. This is what I have to go through to jack the body up high enough, because it's so high. And then you have to get under there and detach the axle from the leaf springs, and it's like, it's gut wrenching at first. I'm like, I'm afraid to like move anything, because it's literally, and the jack stands don't sit high enough. Like, I don't have any bricks laying around anymore to lift up the jack stand, so like I just take my chances and hurry up and get in there. I figure the worst that can happen is it can fall off and it'll land on its tires. It's not much of a drop, but it's still sketchy being under there. I don't know. And then when I take the other tire off and I have to be underneath it, it's not fun. But after about 5 minutes of being under there, you like forget about the danger and you just go about your business. It's really not. It was like that underneath the engine as well. Like I was all sketched out, jacking up the rear end of the transmission, and it's so heavy. I mean, I couldn't budget, you know, on my own trying to press it, and you know, after being underneath it, you just, it's just like second nature. I don't know. I need to get a lift. I need to get a car lift. I don't know where I'd put it, but someday. So hopefully I'm doing this right, but you know, it's 7 degrees, same as the transmission. That's where I set it at. That's where I made my marks. And yeah, I skip a little bit ahead here, and I didn't need to show you guys the process of taking a tire off and all that fun stuff. But yeah, very smooth. These wheel dollies are amazing. They help me out in so many ways, not just to move cars, but as you can see, they come in handy in other areas. But just made a basic chalk line, and you know, I just need to grind off the excess paint. But this was really scary because, like, once I burn these in, you know, it's you get like one shot at it, or else you have to grind everything back off. You have to cut these perches back off, probably be ruined, and then you have to. I was just, you know, really trying to be careful about it and be, you know, Johnny on the spot about this situation, because I really didn't want to have to do it over again. Which hopefully I don't have to. I mean, I hope the degree is set right. I'm sure one of you guys will tell me in the comments. You know, I know that 1 to 3, looking up on Google, I Google everything, I YouTube everything, but everything I read about, like gassers or hot rods or race cars, people set them, you know, between 5 and 9 degrees. I've seen up to 10 degrees. So I just went with 7, and I hope that that's okay. I'm not going to be taking this to the drag strip, and I'm not going to be driving it every day. So I hope that that'll be sufficient enough. If not, I can put some shims under there, you know, add some material to change the angle underneath the perches, or in between the perches and the leaf springs. But I really hope I don't have to go that route. I turned this up almost the whole way. I wanted this to be burnt in hot, just like the straight axle, because up front, because this is something you can't mess around with. Can't be half-assed. But I burn it in super nice, and I think that the axle would break before these perches would break. Yeah, and you know, I'm running off 110, by the way, so it kept kicking the power. Like, it kicked the power like 17 times. Like, no, realistically, it kicked the power about 5 times, but I don't have it all on film because I just didn't feel like it was necessary to film the whole, you know, procedure here. But it kicks the power a couple times. I had to keep restarting and turning the welder back on, but that just means that it was, you know, it rarely does that. I usually weld all day. I'm not welding on this setting, but I usually weld all day, and it never kicks the power. So that just, you know, means that it's burning it in really hot. So that's good. Higher voltage. And you can't really see my welds too well, but they're you know, I wasn't trying to do the most beautiful job. I wasn't trying to stack dimes here, but these welds are definitely, they're sufficient. I made sure I filled all gaps, you know, but I'm just so glad that this is done. Like, this has been like a part that I was dreading for a really long time, because not the welding, but just taking the rear end back out and having to do all this, because I never set you know, a pinion angle before. I didn't really know how to do it. I was worried about doing it because I heard horror stories about people blowing their drive shafts out and buckling them, and I really didn't want to like screw up my brand new transmission and my brand new torque converter, and you know, there went the power. But you know, all this is new to me, so I'm a little intimidated. Each step of the way I'm intimidated until I just do it. Like last week I was intimidated to do the brake lines, and my god, it was the easiest thing I've ever done. Now I just have to bleed them and all that fun stuff, which that's going to be coming up soon. But you know, once you do these things, you feel good about yourself. They're done. And it's all trial and error. If I screw something up or if I do something wrong, I'll find out when I'm driving it and I'll have to take it apart and fix it. But I guess that's how people learn. You know, back in the 50s and 60s when people were building these gassers, you know, they didn't have YouTube. Like, you know, there was like a very, it was like kind of like an underground thing. Like people had to like read Hot Rod magazine or figure things out. It was all trial and error, and they were slapping different parts from different cars or making their own parts, taking parts off tractors, and you know, it was all trial and error. I kind of want to have that same experience, you know. Not that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I watch YouTube and I read magazines and I try to learn what I can. You know, I read Jalopy Journal a lot. I get on the ham a lot, but I'm trying to do this all by myself. You know, I'll take a hand here and there, but it's very rare. I try to do this all by myself, and then that way I can, you know, appreciate it a lot more. Now these brake lines coming out are brand new, but they weren't double flared on the other side, and rather than putting the tool on there and trying to do it like 6 or 7 times, I just bought pre-cut ones that were 30 inches and ran them because they were only $1 a piece at my hardware store. So like for $2, you know, why even go through the struggle? And yeah, I learned how to double flare. I can do it. I just, you know, why bother? I like it to get a machine perfect double flare pre-made with the fitting already on there. You can't beat that. If you go to the parts store and buy just the fitting, you know, like the male end, it's going to cost $1. So yeah, I mean, the whole entire time I was tightening this down, I was just praying that, you know, the angle stayed the same, that I did it right. And you know, I did check it like 2 or 3 times after it's all tightened down. I forgot to film it, but I figured I'd wait till it was on, even though it was probably tougher to do it this way. I waited until it was on to put the brake line on, but I didn't want it to get crimped or be in the way while I was trying to figure all this out, and I wanted to take my time. Now this squiggly piece of wreckage here, you'll see what I do with it. I mean, obviously it comes off of the differential case, but it's definitely, I had to like twist it around and do it like that. There's a reason why. But yeah, I mean, it was freezing out today too, did I mention? And I had to be like on the concrete all day. Boo-hoo. No, I mean, I love it. Like if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't be out here doing it. You know, I don't care what the temperature is. I built the carport, I think it was 9 degrees the one day when I was doing the roof of the carport. It was numb out, but when I'm in the mood to get stuff done, I just get it done, man. Like I don't care what the weather is. I don't care if it's raining or snowing or if it's 90 degrees. I mind the heat. I'd rather work in the cold than work in the heat. Once again, dull ass drill bits. I need to get a drill bit set. I need to get a lot of tools, man. But this car, you know, nickel and dimes me to the point where I put money into the car and I don't feel like buying tools. You know, I buy stuff as I need them, but I really try not to spend too much extra money because, you know, I'm not rich. It's killing me just building the gasser and trying to keep up on the other two cars, but we'll get to those later because I'm going to have some 58 videos coming out here soon because I'm going to be driving that all summer, and it's February. I will be, you know, coming up in March. I want to get that ready for the road, get the new tires put on. But yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, there's my little squiggly pigtail piece of wreckage there, and I hope this works out. Everything's nice and tight, not over tight. And then there's the drive shaft, everything lined up nice, everything fits nice. I'm pretty psyched, and that's one more chapter closed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.